Thank you so much. Thank you. So, yes, my name is Sarah. I live in New Zealand, at the very bottom of the world. We're a very small country, of 5 million people. And I live in the South Island of New Zealand. It's where bungee jumping was invented. This is my story. Trauma changes us. Trauma deeply, deeply changes us. And the trauma can vary. So many people think of trauma as maybe being in a car accident or having been to war or witnessing violence. But trauma can also be neglect from your parents. It can be when you were raised in a highly critical environment, and it can be being ignored or overparented. And if we experience this ongoing pressure or neglect on a daily basis, then trauma develops in our body and will go on to have lifelong consequences. But we can alleviate the effects of trauma through finding things in our life that start to shift that, where we can start to feel safe again or feel good again. And so it's really important to know that trauma in your life from your past doesn't have to define who you are today. It is a difficult road to heal through trauma, but it is possible. So I think something that we can all take from trauma is that it also gives us a strength and a gift that we wouldn't have otherwise. If we had just got through life and it was easy and we were really loved and everything was fine, then we wouldn't have the empathy and the compassion that comes from having experienced very difficult times. My own experience is that my father was a violent man, and my mum became an alcoholic because that was her way to manage life on a daily basis. And so my sister and I grew up with a volatile father who could explode at any moment, and a mum that wasn't available to us because she was drinking to escape her life, really. And it was a really difficult time. And so when I got older and I started realizing that I had really low self-esteem and I was attracting similar relationships into my own life, I thought, well, what can I do and how can I empower people to change that, I guess, that feeling of being empty and that feeling of not being good enough. And so I did volunteer for a family violence agency, helping to empower women. And then I decided to train as a therapist. And through that training, I have learned so much about myself and that I deserve better and that I can have better. And I did end up marrying a man much older than me who, although he wasn't really violent, he was aggressive and controlling. And so that marriage did not last. But I believe that we can find the love that we deserve if we also practice that to ourselves. And so I now am in a very healthy relationship, and I think it's really important to know that there are really good people out there, but we have to be looking for the warning signs. We have to see the red flags as they come up and just make a decision. Is this somebody that is treating me well? Is this someone that respects me? Is this someone that I feel safe with? Do I want my children around this person? And I think if we can answer those questions clearly, then we can make a really healthy decision for ourselves and our children. And because they learn off us, And a question that I wanted to pose is, instead of asking the question, why does she stay with an abusive man? I want to turn it around and I want to ask the question, why does he abuse her? Because it's so quick for people to judge and say, why does she stay with that man? And they don't look at the bigger picture about the financial situation, or she's too frightened to leave, or they've got nowhere else to go, or they've got animals that they can't take with them. So I think the more important question is to ask, why does he think it's okay to abuse her? And his behavior needs to change. And so that is my passion now, to work with couples and individuals to help them see their worth and to know that they are important. Thank you.